Hey guys, welcome to the channel. 2024 has been the year of shocking returns for WWE. And this year alone, we got CM Punk, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rhea Ripley, Roman Reigns, and John Cena returning to the ring after prolonged periods away. This week's Raw continues that trend with the return of two superstars we've sorely missed. Also, CM Punk basically reveals the secret favor that Paul Heyman promised him. All that and more in this week's Raw replay. The New Day's 10-year anniversary is upon us, and it's festive, it's colorful, it's got rainbows and balloons and memorabilia in the ring that brings us back to a time when the New Day were united in the power of positivity. But as Kofi and Xavier Woods stand there thanking the crowd for the years of support, there's an uncomfortable truth looming over everything. As you may know, Kofi and Xavier Woods are not on good terms. After months of miscommunication and last week's heated argument, we've all been wondering who's going to turn on who. Will it be Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston who turns heel? Will Big E bring the New Day back together again and squash all this beef so they can go back to slapping meat and eating bootios like the good old days? Well, WWE swerved us yet again. Big E does make his long-awaited return, and he does attempt to bring Kofi and Woods back together. However, Woods and Kofi turn on Big E. You see, the New Day lost their way following Big E's career-ending neck injury, and they haven't been the same since. Clearly, the New Day struggled to adapt to this new Paul Levesque era and have been in a sort of identity crisis for years now. So Big E suddenly comes back into the picture, and I quote, he says, "Until I am medically cleared, I will do everything I can to return to this ring. I am going to remind you exactly who you are. I'm going to be here every single week as your manager." This was an emotional moment. Everyone in the arena felt it. I felt it. I'm sure you did too. But Xavier and Kofi did not. The two of them effectively turned heel on Big E, saying it's too late for all this, that Big E left them in the dust, and that they waited so long their careers dwindled away in the process. They didn't evolve because they were waiting for Big E to rejoin them. They also say that Big E chose his desk job, that he chose his girlfriend over them. If WWE's goal was to turn everyone against Kofi and Woods, then mission accomplished. Yes, there's a microscopic little thread of truth in Woods and Kofi's claims, but to underplay the severity of Big E's horrific neck injury and frame it as him like abandoning the New Day, no faster way to turn heel than that, my friend. All that being said, just because it makes a shred of sense historically does not make it believable, you know? Did I feel Kofi and Woods truly believed what they were saying when they were saying it to Big E? No, I did not. It's in the performance, really. For me, personally, it felt forced, but again, if the goal was purely for us to boo Kofi and Woods, then good job, I guess. But remember what I said earlier, the line we just quoted? Until I am medically cleared, not if I am medically cleared. This says to me that it's only a matter of time until we see Big E's in-ring return. That's the huge takeaway here. Big E will inevitably face his brothers in the ring and have to put them in their place again. And given the New Day's history with Royal Rumble spots, I think we're gonna get Big E's in-ring return at Royal Rumble, possibly by eliminating both Kofi and Woods. But wherever that happens, that return will be massive. The New Day has been lost for years now. This is everything they need to put themselves back on the map. This is a course correction for the New Day, yes, but it's a course correction for a struggling tag team division in the WWE as well. So in that way, the New Day's 10-year anniversary was very effective in surprising us with a shocking twist and reinvigorating the tag team division with long-term storytelling and a new high-profile storyline that will hopefully reignite our interest in the New Day. Moving on, The Favor. Survivor Series is over now, but one question still plagues the WWE universe. What is the damn favor? The favor that Paul Heyman promised CM Punk in order for joining Bloodline War Games. Well, CM Punk opened Raw this week, and he basically told us without telling us. Punk says he knows what the future holds and proceeds to point at an invisible Wrestlemania sign. Need I say more? This whole time, the predominant theory for Punk after finishing his feud with Drew McIntyre at Bad Blood was that CM Punk would then go for Gunther's heavyweight championship. You know, seeing as he's a Raw superstar and all. But tonight, things got a little interesting when CM Punk says there's different ways you can finish your story. A not so subtle jab at Cody Rhodes, of course. Which leaves us wondering if CM Punk is planning to pull the trigger on our Universal Champion instead. Punk goes on to say he always seems to hit a dead end. But the good news is there's a favor or two in his pocket. So again, tell me what the favor is without telling me what the favor is. It seems more and more likely now that Paul Heyman has agreed to negotiate a WrestleMania main event for CM Punk, or at the very least, a shot at the Universal title. But before we can get more clarity on this elusive favor, Seth Rollins interrupts, and he has some serious words for Punk. Rollins says, "I really should have knocked your ass out the same day you came to WWE. It's obvious there's unfinished business between the two superstars, but now this feud is even hotter, given that CM Punk joined forces with Roman Reigns, driving Rollins to finally crack and come to blows with Punk tonight." Rollins knocks CM Punk on his ass, but this brawl is cut short as Jay and Sami Uso run to Punk's aid. Jay and Punk are exiting the arena when Rollins says, "Run along to Roman, y'all." Sami does not take kindly to these words. This turns into a back and forth argument and has so much truth to both sides. I love how it all played out. Seth says, "If you're family with them, you're family with me. We've been on the road together for years now, and you stabbed me in the back when you teamed with CM Punk." To this, Sami replies, "I came to you twice. We wouldn't have to team with Punk if you weren't so damn stubborn." Seth says, "What did you want me to team with you for again?" "Oh yeah, to help Roman Reigns return to power, to help that monster return to power, rather." This is when Sami says, "Hey, let me remind you, that monster, Roman Reigns, you created that monster when you put a chair in his back 10 years ago." Yet another long-term story point spanning 10 years, 2 in one show. Rollins claims he understands he's not innocent in all this, that he apologized and atoned for all that. But if you're going to point fingers at Rollins for putting a chair to Roman Reigns' back, then you need to look in the mirror because you did the same damn thing. Line of the night by Rollins. But Rollins doesn't fault Sami for this, no. It was all part of what they sacrificed to take down Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Has Roman really apologized to anybody? No, he hasn't. He hasn't really changed his ways, Rollins says. He also says that CM Punk is a snake who hasn't changed either. Rollins calls Sami stupid for being so gullible and trusting Roman. This leads to a main event match between Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins later in the night. As the show continues, there is an attack on Jey Uso backstage, and no one knows who really did it, but Sami definitely thinks it was Rollins. Flash forward to their main event match, a match that was decent just like any match between those two all-stars. They go back and forth, Sami accusing Rollins for the attack on Jey, and Rollins telling Sami he wouldn't do something like that. Sami goes as far as to pull out a chair and threaten to beat Rollins with it, but Sami can't bring himself to do it, and then Rollins rolls Sami up for the 1, 2, 3, leading to an underwhelming finish. But wait, that's not all. Someone blindsides Sami out of nowhere. That someone is Drew McIntyre, delivering a claymore to Sami Zayn and going off air with a close-up of a dreamy Scottish psychopath, aka DM Hunk. Did Drew McIntyre really take Jey Uso out backstage? That's the implication, but we don't have confirmation on that quite yet. My gut says there's more to this. Coming out of Survivor Series, we have more questions than answers, and this Raw did more to forward storylines than even Survivor Series did. Weekly television has become more and more critical, essential, and must watch as of late, minus the tape shows which we all know are pretty ass. There wasn't much to be remembered in terms of bell-to-bell matches on this Raw. I mean, Dominic versus Gunther was pretty cool. Dominic actually dominated for a second, showing us that Gunther is still really struggling with his self-doubt. But the focal point of this Raw was continuing major storylines and capitalizing on past storylines to build them into future storylines leading into the road to Wrestlemania, which is quickly approaching. Storylines. That's why I'm giving this Monday Night Raw 7 yeets out of 10. What do you think? Will Big E return to the ring by Royal Rumble? And what's the favor? Also, what the hell is Drew McIntyre up to? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching.